Well, it looks sleepy and small, but this is actually the main city in Greenland. It's called Nuuk, and it's where the majority of this remote island's 57,000 residents live. It's a vast, mainly Arctic territory, roughly the size of Alaska and California combined. And it's strategically important because Greenland sits, along with Iceland and the United Kingdom, on an important axis that controls access to the North Atlantic, good for monitoring Russian and Chinese activities in the Arctic. It's also the shortest route for a ballistic missile fired from Russia to reach the continental United States. There's also vast mineral deposits here, including rare earth metals, which all helps explain why President Trump is so interested in getting his hands on it.
We need Greenland for national security and even international security, and we're working with everybody involved to try and get it.
Suddenly, everyone seems to want a piece of Greenland.
One way or the other, we're going to get it.
A key Arctic battleground, where the US and other NATO allies are vying for influence with China and Russia. CNN was invited here by the Danish military to observe their biggest ever combat exercise, dubbed Arctic Light. Much of Greenland, ruled by Denmark for 3 centuries, is a moonscape of jagged ice, a frozen desert of unforgiving terrain that Danish military officials say is virtually unconquerable. But they're still training hard to repulse any would-be attackers.
We are here to protect Greenland, and in order to protect Greenland we have to train, because if you're not up here and conduct training, you're not able to defend Greenland. So that's what we're doing.
And what are the security threats to Greenland? Who are you protecting it from?
Against Russia. That is the main threat for Greenland. There's not a threat now, but there's a future threat. So we are looking into a threat when the war in Ukraine is over.
But such a remote danger begs the question why Denmark is ramping up military spending right now to the tune of billions of dollars. Denmark is putting a lot of its resources in the air, on the sea and on the land into increasing its presence here. Now, Danish military officials say that the purpose of these exercises is to deter Russia and China, who are increasingly active in the Arctic. But the real target, the real audience for this message is in Washington and Donald Trump. Make Greenland great again! Last winter, pro-Trump social media influencers converged on Greenland, trying to whip up enthusiasm for a US takeover, even passing out US dollars to local teens.
You guys don't have McDonald's here yet, right?
And after so long under Danish rule, many Greenlanders are far from convinced becoming American is their best future course. President Trump said that it would make Greenlanders, it would make them very rich if they become American. Does that appeal to you?
I think we are rich enough because we have each other, we help together, all the families. We're rich, not by money.
How would you like to become an American citizen?
People from here don't think it's a good idea.
I believe someday, maybe in the future, we're going to be a country, independent country. I have been in Alaska, and all of the young people, they forgot how to speak Inuktitut, and I don't want that. I love my country, I love our language.
And even if, for the moment, US ambitions on Greenland appear to have faded from President Trump's ever-changing agenda, in its icy fjords, with naval exercises underway, it's still seen as the island's most pressing diplomatic challenge. Though Denmark's top general, who CNN met on board a Danish frigate, was careful not to admit how concerned he is. Is the real reason for these manoeuvres the remarks by President Trump about the sovereignty of Greenland? Is it intended to send a message to Washington?
This is a military exercise. It is to demonstrate our ability to protect Greenland, and that's the military side of it.
And it's not meant as a message to Washington that Greenland can protect this,
I'm not
that Denmark can
politician.
protect Greenland.
Yeah, I'm not a politician, so I have a military task.
But as we flew out of Greenland across the rugged, mountainous east, it was crystal clear that military task carries a key Danish political goal, not just to deter Moscow and Beijing from ever invading, but also to convince President Trump and Washington there's no need to take remote, isolated Greenland as its own.